Hey everybody, thank you for checking out Mr. Ware's videos, and today we're looking at a study guide for the final exam. So just a few different problems on here, and I'm going to go over each one. Alright, so they already worked out, but I'm still going to talk about what I did here. So here we just got a basic three-step equation. 2x minus 7 equals 6x minus 39. Okay, what I like to say is move the letters to the left. So we got this 6x, we do the opposite of plus and subtract 6x on both sides. Then we got 2x minus 6x. 2 minus 6 is negative 4x. We bring down the negative 7, and we bring down the negative 39, and this cancels out, becomes 0. Alright, then we're going to add 7. We're going to move the numbers to the right now. So we're going to do the opposite of minus, and this should be a plus here. Plus 7 on both sides. So negative 39 plus 7 is positive 32. We bring down the negative 4x. And we got the 32, and the 7's cancel out now. So now we have negative 4x is equal to 32. We do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. So we divide by negative 4 on both sides. 32 divided by negative 4, positives divided by negatives is a negative. 32 divided by 4 is 8. Let's take one that's similar to that. Take a look at one that's similar to that. So again, we're going to move the letters to the left, subtract 10x on both sides. We got 15x minus 10x. That's going to give us 5x. Bring down the negative 9. This cancels out the 0. Bring down the positive 6. Alright, now we're going to do the opposite of subtract 9, moving the numbers to the right now, and add 9 on both sides. 6 plus 9 is 15. Bring down to 5x. Got 5x is equal to 15. Do the opposite of multiplication and divide by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. Alright, let's take a look at another multi-step equation. Okay, this one, notice how the difference between this equation and this equation. Here you have two terms on each side of the equal sign. Here you've got multiple different types of terms on one side of the equal sign and just a number on the right. Those are two different problems. So instead of like subtracting on both sides, all of this is on the same side. So what we want to do is kind of simplify one side and then work it from there. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do to simplify is distributive property. I'm going to take this negative 4 and multiply by everything inside the parentheses here. So I've got a negative times a positive, which is a negative, and then 4 times 1, which is 4. So I have 4x. And then negative times a negative, which is a positive, and 4 times 1 is 4. Alright, I'm going to bring down the negative x, and bring down the negative 5, and bring down the equal negative 26. Now, the reason I got these things circled and underlined is because they were looking for like terms, looking for everything that has the same variable to the same exponent, and everything that's just a number. And we're going to combine like terms, just simply adding them. So we got negative 4 and negative 1. Same sign, find the sum. 4 plus 1 is 5. They're both negative. Keep it negative. And then positive 5 plus a negative, positive 4 plus a negative 5. They are different signs. Find the difference. Negative 5 plus 4, negative 5 minus 4 is going to be negative 1. Keep it negative because the 5 is bigger. Now I'm left with negative 5x minus 1 is equal to negative 26. Simple two-step equation now. We're going to do the opposite of minus 1 and add 1 on both sides. Negative 26 plus 1 is negative 25. Bring down the negative 5x. Do the opposite of multiplication, divide. So we divide by negative 5. Negative divided by negative is a positive. 25 divided by 5 is 5. All right, let's look at another one like that. Okay, here we're going to distribute first. We got -2 times 5x and -2 times -1. Negative times a positive is a negative. 2 times 5 is 10x. Negative times a negative is a positive. 2 times 1 is 2. Everything else I have to bring down. 2x, positive 1, negative 37. Okay, now we're going to combine like terms. Negative 10x plus 2x is negative 8x. 2 plus 1 is 3. Do the opposite of add 3, subtract 3 on both sides. Same sign, find the sum. 37 plus 3 is 40. Negative and negative is negative. Bring down the negative 8, divide by negative 8. Bring down the negative 8x and then divide by the coefficient negative 8. Divide by negative 8 on both sides. Negative divided by negative is a positive, and x is equal to 5. 40 divided by 8 is 5. Alright, so here we got a multiple choice problem here. It says, which of the contexts below would not be modeled by an exponential function? Okay, so with an exponential function, we want to look at problems that are where you are multiplying. Okay, and when you have a percent, you're multiplying by a decimal more often than not. Okay, so if you're multiplying, then that's going to be exponential. So the car depreciates at a rate 6.2. The radioactive compound decays at a rate of 29%. The town population grows at a rate of 8.2%. All of those are exponential. The one that's not exponential is the amusement park that changes charges $1.50 to go on each ride. So $1.50, $1.50, $1.50. You're adding $1.50 each time. So if you're adding, it's not going to be exponential. It's going to be linear. All right, let's take a look at another one. Hang on. Okay, I want to apologize for being a little bit out of order, but I want to do another problem like what we just did, which is the context below could be modeled by an exponential function. All right, so notice how none of these have percents in them. The one that has a percent is going to be the exponential function. Okay, so you got to look at it, make sure it's right. But money invested in a savings account grows at an annual rate of 2.7%. That's going to be exponential. So double check and make sure it makes sense as far as the percent, and you're not adding a percent. But if you're going up or going down at a rate of a certain percent, it's going to be exponential. Okay, and everything else is we're adding a certain amount every month, or every ride, or every mile. All right. Now let's take a look at a couple of inequalities. Okay, so here, this is the same thing as we did the first problem here, except instead of having an equal sign, it's going to be a inequality. Okay, and all the rules are the same except for one, and I'll get to that in a minute. So here, we're going to subtract 5g on both sides, moving the letters to the left like we did before. 8 minus 5g is 3g. We're going to bring down the 6, bring down the -6, move the numbers to the right, do the opposite of that, which is subtract 6 on both sides. Same sign, find the sum. Negative and negative, go to say negative. 6 plus 6 is 12. Now I got 3g is greater than or equal to -12. Now, this is where you got to be careful. Okay, everything is the same. We got 3 times g. We do the opposite of multiplication, divide by 3. But if this coefficient is negative, then what you need to do is change this inequality around. It's not, so we didn't. So the 12 is negative, but this 3 is not, so we don't change it around. Okay, so we do negative divided by a positive is a negative. This should be a negative 4 here. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. All right, let's take a look at another one. Okay, don't get thrown off when you don't have a number here. It's if you don't have a number here, the number is 1k. So we're going to do the opposite of plus k or positive k and subtract k on both sides. 5 minus 1 is 4k. Bring down the negative 5. Bring down the negative 3. Do the opposite of minus 5 and add 5 on both sides. Negative 3 plus 5 is positive 2. Bring down the 4k. Bring down the 2. I'm going to divide by 4. Now, here you get a decimal when you divide by 4. And don't forget, if it's negative, you swap it, but this one's positive, so we leave it the same. So here, if you do 2 divided by 4, you get 0.5. It won't take 0.5. You got to type in the fraction. So it's going to be k is greater than or equal to 1 over 2. You got to reduce this fraction down. All right, let's take a look at a couple more problems here. All right, here we're dealing with transformations. And here it says figure L is the results of a transformation of figure K, which transformation would accomplish this. So you're going from L to K. So we're flipping. So that's going to be a reflection. So, and we got two reflections, over the x-axis or the y-axis. So because it's going over this, the x-axis is going to be x-axis. All right, and last problem here. It says, let me zoom in again. Figure T is the results of transformation on figure S. Which transformation would accomplish this? So we're doing T onto S. That's going to be a flip 2. Flip it over. And that's going to be a reflection over the y-axis. Okay. So be aware of some rotations. Rotations could be on that. But that's pretty much it. That's the review for the exam. I want to thank you for checking out Mr. Ware's videos. Have a nice day.